What's going on, folks? Welcome to episode 13 of the podcast. Thank you guys for checking this out. Today, we're going to talk about strategy, building an audience from ground zero all the way up, and the struggles and the things that you have to do to get an audience to check you out, because the music industry, and especially social media, it's so oversaturated right now. How the hell are you supposed to create an audience? And in a world where venues and people place so much weight on your social media presence, how are we going to build that? What are we going to do? It has been a crazy week, so I apologize for not getting this out yesterday. It's currently Monday morning, and we're just recording this now. So again, I apologize. I have been mixing the latest single. I've been working with some new artists on production for their music and production for their music videos. We have another quarantine session, a one-take quarantine session coming out tomorrow. It's a song called Taxi. So be sure to check that out on monroemusic.net and YouTube. And in about an hour, I'll have an interview for the Grammy Awards for the For Your Consideration, the You OK music video. That was all made during quarantine, and it was super DIY, and that's the one that got the most eyes, the most views, the most interest, which kind of leads us into what we're going to talk about today again, the strategy and building an audience, because I believe that this is the perfect time to put that time in whilst we're at home during this quarantine. So let's jump into that. Again, this is going to be sort of an overview, and we'll jump into it in the next episode or an episode soon where we'll get into the specifics. But what is the strategy for building an audience? Getting those eyes, no matter where it is, website, social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, how do you get those people to actually just start saying, I like this band, or I want to check these guys out, or I want to check out this business, or I want to check out this whatever, where do we start? And I think that we start with the nurturing of the consumer. First, it's an introduction to you. Who are you? And I think that it's not just who are you as, in this case, we're going to use the artist. It's not just, oh, who am I? Here's my latest song. I think there's a lot more depth that people want to see. I think they want to know who you are as the individual. At least in my experience, a lot of the artists that I like their music, of course, but I really dig them as people. And I think more now than ever, you really have to show who you are, especially in these oversaturated markets where, everyone can be an artist and everyone has freaking like GarageBand and they can make a track in their house. Doesn't mean it's going to sound good, but everyone has the opportunity to put out music. So I think what's going to differentiate you now is, of course, your music, but who you are and how you can get that vibe across and how effective you can be to get that vibe across to the consumer. I've tried a bunch of things. I like doing things like this, like doing a podcast and just doing little update videos on my social media to get it out to people. And I think that transitions to the live shows. When we can do live shows again, God knows when, showing your personality is really important. And again, when we have this time to be in front of people and get our views and ideals, and especially in an election year, I don't know if you just talk politics, but if you want to talk politics, that's fine. You can get your ideas across, who you are. The introduction stage, it's an opportunity to make your first best impression. Be cool. Like, don't come off too strong. Allow your listeners to make the decision to engage with you and engage with who you are. I think that music now, it's not just your music, it's a brand. and your brand is really important. Other than just like, oh, he's got a cool logo. I think your brand encompasses you as a whole. And then after kind of this introduction, not you don't have to do an introduction video necessarily, but take that as you will. An introduction, like get people to know who you are, is important. After this kind of introduction, you got to start educating them on what you think before someone will like want to have a conversation with you. I think they have to know more about you. This kind of stage in, talking to your audience is more about revealing similarities between you and your audience and your connection. So like for me, when I connect with my audience, I'm just a normal guy. I'm no better than the guy on the corner or the guy behind his desk or anybody that's struggling to make it, because we're all hustling to make it. We're all in the same boat. And I think exposing those similarities is extremely important. Again, because we're all in the same boat together. We're all trying to do this. We're all trying to do this for a living. That's our dream, right? To express ourselves with music together and do it and make a living and just try to show people who we are through our music. So the education stage is really important. Tell people where you came from. Tell people what you're doing. And I think be honest. There's nothing, in my opinion, that is worse than lying to the audience or lying to the people that you're trying to connect with, making yourself seem more popular or making yourself seem more, I don't know, successful than you really are. I know that sounds kind of like, if you think about social media, specifically like Instagram, you have your Instagram posts and your reels and your stories, and they're all highlight reels basically. Especially the more famous artists, they show all these cool things and all the cool shit that they're doing, but they never show honesty. And they never show like, yeah, I'm in the studio and I'm sucking and this sucks and it's not going as well as planned. And I think that those posts, those authentic things that you give insight to and show your consumer or show your audience, makes you that much more relatable. And because everyone has been there. I've been there, you've been there. Everyone's been to the stage where it just shit's not working out and it's really frustrating. So in my opinion, if you can, in some way, video, audio, make a blog if you're more comfortable writing, express this to your audience. It makes you relatable and it's honest, it's very honest. Like, I'll tell you right now, I am definitely not where I want to be quite yet. And I try to make that shown. I don't know. It's more complicated than that. Again, we're going to jump into this deeper, and I'm getting too deep right now. But anyway, after that, I feel like there's like a permission, right? People start interacting with you, maybe via your social media post or whatever that may be. You give listeners like an incentive to sign up for your contact list, or they start following you. So they get more of your notifications. You get the permission to come into their daily lives via their feed or whatever that may be. And then you kind of nurture the audience. You give them exclusive content. You give them insight into you at the studio. Things like that. You deliver content without them having to ask for content, or you create a podcast that gives insight into what you're doing, or you're just giving them information, not too much. I don't think you should necessarily overwhelm them, but you're giving them little tidbits of you. You're giving them video updates. You're giving them, I don't know, little updates on your artwork, things like that. Again, still being relatable, not saying, oh, I'm working with this really famous artist because I'm cool and have all these much better connections than you do. But if you're working with a cool artist or whatever it may be, I think humility is in short supply sometimes. You keep nurturing this audience, and you kind of ascend. You get a little more popular. You get a little more followers, more views, more comments. And I think that when people comment on your stuff, reply back. I don't think that nearly enough people are actually interacting with their audience. I've seen so many upcoming artists that I've gone to their pages because I'm curious how the heck they're doing it. And, they'll have, I don't know, 1 million people following their page, and, they follow too, and they look somewhat elite. And I go through their comments, and keep in mind, these people are not, they're not fucking like Bono. They're up and coming people like you, like me. And people comment on their videos or their posts and say, "Hey, this is so cool. Like, I love what you're doing," or "I love this new album," and they don't even reply back. Social media, in my opinion, is the exchange of ideas and the exchange between people. So why are they not exchanging with their fans? People took the time to follow you, comment, and tell you something positive or negative. Write back, like, exchange with them. I try my best to never, ever, ever leave a comment without a reply. It's so much more, in my opinion, than just like hitting the like button on a comment. Anyone, even if it's, the guy, your third cousin twice removed, they took the time to write on your video or on your whatever, "Hey, I like this. This is great. Keep it up." And you don't have the time to write "thank you." That's, I think, the fastest way to stunt your growth. Ultimately, if you nurture correctly and you start to build, you'll start getting people. The highest honor, in my opinion, is people telling other people, "Hey, check this guy out," or "check this girl out," or "check out this page. This is really cool." Referrals are the coolest thing in the world. While your fans will refer to you naturally, the people that actually like you, that are outside of, your mom's always going to advocate for you, but of course you want those people that aren't your family to say, "Hey, this is great." You want to really, really, really do your best to get to this referral process and this advocacy stage where your like devoted fans, the people that love you the most, and hopefully it's outside of your family, they'll promote your music in their area. And that's how you kind of get out to other areas, right? And you can make a street team, or people just form a quote-unquote street team, if that's still a thing, around you and your music. And that's like the holy grail. Other people just saying how great you are and saying how much they like your music. But I think a lot of us, and I get it because in many ways, I am stuck at this nurturing stage. And again, unfortunately, I don't have a lot of time to jump into it today, which we will talk about maybe the next podcast, is going from that permission nurturing stage to that ascension and referral stage. I think most people get stuck there. And there's many ways to do it. One way that I found really, really effective is targeted ads to target specific people and regions to get your music out. For me, and I think we'll do a whole episode on this because this is just scratching the surface, but I live in New York City. My music and the people that I want to reach, let's say I want to reach people that like Justin Timberlake, and there's a way now to go into Facebook back end and see, okay, you're like in your ads manager, you see people that like Justin Timberlake, you search Justin Timberlake and you see all the things that they click on and all the interests that they like. And so you make a video or a teaser or whatever it may be, and you target a very, very, very specific audience. You can target an age group. You can target a demographic. You can say people that like Justin Timberlake that also like Jay-Z, and that's you narrow down the pool, because if you just target New York City, for instance, and you have all these millions of people, the frequency in which maybe they see your video, or the frequency, or just in general, the odds that they see your video or whatever you want them to see is much less. So we'll jump into that. We'll jump into this whole strategy a little deeper on the next podcast. But this is just your little intro to strategy, just something to get your brain and the juices flowing of, okay, if you want to create an audience and you haven't had success quite yet, start thinking about this, thinking about introducing yourself. How are you going to make that first impression? How are you going to show yourself to the audience, whether it's videos, audio, blog, and something written, something that's not just, here's my business, buy it. No one wants to buy your product or be involved with you, or even stream it, because now music, it's all streamed. You don't have to buy it for 99 cents on iTunes or buy the CD. Why are they going to stream your music? What about you? Other than, oh yeah, it sounds cool. What about you are they going to buy into? And how are you going to educate them on who you are, and how are you going to get permission to come into their lives? Other than, oh yeah, a follow, which is hard enough. I think Instagram follows are easy-ish. Facebook is harder. YouTube, in my opinion, if you're not 100% a YouTuber, is really challenging to get a subscriber. It's a lot. So start thinking about that. Think about the introduction and the education that will lead to getting permission from the people to come into their everyday life, and for them to see that you uploaded a new piece of content or uploaded a new video. Think about how you'll be more relatable. Think about how you can show who you are, which will lead them to want to hear your music. I think that's one really good approach. We'll jump into this again further this week, and I'll make sure I have something for you on Sunday. Start thinking about it. I'm excited, and if you have any comments or any feedback, please hit me up on social media. I would love to hear what you think. And yeah, guys, we'll talk really, really, really soon. And I probably post that interview from today up here soon. So please definitely comment back, and I will see you all on Sunday. Bye.